Alright, today's video comes from the hacker known as... And he asks, is love an evolutionary response? Because, you know, it's only my third video. It's not like you want to give me like a softball question or anything. But, here we go. Alright, now first of all, love is a very subjective concept. It can mean different things to different people. I mean, two people can hear the same word, they can see the same thing. No! No. We're done. The dress is black and blue. Go away. At any rate, different things can mean different things to different people. So in order to answer this question, we first have to ask, I cannot believe I'm about to say this, but what is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Now, emotional responses have certainly evolved over time, not just in human beings, but in various species. Feelings like anger, jealousy, love, altruism, selfishness, hatred, vengeance. These are all characteristics that we see both in the human species and in other animal species. For instance, some species of foxes and also condors will engage in monogamous relationships. They will mate for life. Many studies have shown that elephants can actually hold grudges. Other studies have shown that pigs are actually capable of being duplicitous. Many kinds of bats who do not hunt in packs will actually share food among themselves. When two bats go out and one bat finds blood to eat and the other does not, and they come back to the cave, the bat cave, love that term, the bat that found food will actually vomit blood up into the bat that did not find food's mouth. That is altruism. And all of these things do create a sense of community, a sense of family that allows us to survive, that allows us to propagate our species, that allows us to pass our genetic information on to the next generation. Now, as I said in the beginning, every person's version of love is different. Yours and mine and yours and the next person you'll ever meet or the next guy's video whom you'll watch. But for me, it is that sense of family, it is that sense of community, it's that sense of obligation and responsibility to one another that I come to form my understanding of love. In fact, an extremely large part of the reason why I make these videos is out of that sense of community. It is a labor of love in more ways than one. There are others out there, however, who will tell you something radically different. They will make a claim that God is love. Now, I'd like to examine that for a second, and I'm not foolish enough to say something as simple that God does not exist and expect that to carry weight. I'm not that naive. Instead, I would like to point out the case of Brandon Shiable, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I realize that I am probably not. But this was a young child, and when I say young child, I mean young child, like 7 months old young child. He died of a combination of pneumonia and dehydration. And his parents, for lack of a better word, who loved him, again, for lack of a better word, who believed that God is love, did everything that they knew within God's infinite love to help him. They prayed. Now, I don't know if this is going to come to a shock to anyone out there, but pneumonia, very, very treatable. In fact, I would like all of you to raise your hand if you've survived pneumonia. Also, equally shocking, dehydration, also treatable. Now, believe it or not, I honestly try to address the evils of the doctrine of Christianity, mostly, but all religions in part. And I try to refrain from insulting individuals. But the truth is, these pieces of shit killed their child. They allowed their son to die of thirst believing that only God could save him. Now, as I said way back in the beginning, everybody's concept of love is different, and that is appropriate. But the idea that God is love is false. Is love an evolutionary response? Yes. Absolutely it is. All emotions are. And those emotions are designed to keep us and our family and our community and our species going. But religion destroys that. I'll be putting a link to the news article about Brandon Scheibel down in the doobly-doo so that you can read about it yourself. I'll also be putting a link to what is honestly one of the most disgusting things that I have ever seen on the internet, ever. The case of Brandon Scheibel is very sadly not unique. In fact, it's all too common. The other link I'll be providing is a list of other children that have died due to their parents' neglect. And those parents have cited religious reasons for that neglect. I don't know how many children there are. They all age from a few months old to up to about 10. I started counting and I got to 30 and I became so emotionally disturbed that I just stopped. Now, to anyone watching, if your child falls ill and you wish to pray, by all means, pray. I am not telling you not to do that. That is not my place to do so. But for goodness sake, for God's sake, if your child is sick, get them professional help. Do not rely on a 3,500-year-old Middle Eastern set of mythology to help you. If you love your child, and I absolutely mean in the sense that I would love a child, in an evolutionary sense, in the sense that you want that child to survive, please, get your kids vaccinated, because for some reason that's become an issue lately. And B, if they get sick, don't just pray. Take them to a doctor. We can overcome these diseases. We can perpetuate ourselves as a species without the need for mythology. And what happened to this child and all of the children who have died just because their parents were religious zealots, we are all responsible for that. And every human being should feel guilty that we allowed this to happen. Alright, now because I like to end my videos on a high note, I would like to give a special thanks to two people. First, to the hacker known as, for sending me this question. This has honestly been one of the most challenging, one of the most interesting, and one of the most difficult questions I've ever been asked. Not just on this channel, not just about religion, but period. And it has been my honor to make my attempt to answer it. And I hope these questions keep coming. Not just from you, but from everyone. And lastly, I would like to give a special thanks to Leonard Nimoy, who, as I'm sure you know, has recently died. His career from Star Trek to Civilization 4 has been inspiring, honorable, and noteworthy. And I will leave you all with some of the best advice that I could give you. Live long and prosper.